chatted with this man during the NFL draft as part of the Draftathon, helping raise money. And a big fan of his work, and pleased to have right here on the Rich Eisen Show in advance of the latest must-see of his acting career, the Comey Rule, a 2-night event, premieres on consecutive nights. First night is coming up this Sunday, and then Monday at 9 Eastern time on Showtime. The man who plays Jim Comey, the former FBI director, Jeff Daniels, here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing fine, Rich.
I'm pleased to have you on this program. Last week we spoke, you were feeling good about potentially your Lions season. I don't know. You want to talk about your work? Or you want to talk about the Lions, Jeff? What do you want to do first?
Well, let's get to the Lions first. They break your heart. They don't just lose.
Yes.
They lose and they break your heart doing so. It's just, you can't be ahead 17-3 or whatever it was, or 23-6 or something. You just know if you lean towards we're going to win, you're going to get your heart broken. And it's just, you think we're cursed. I don't know, but it's getting difficult. It's getting real difficult.
Well, I mean, obviously week one was particularly troubling in the fact that it looked like you had everything all wrapped up. So I guess when you say it breaks your heart, you're still with them, right? I mean, you're not going anywhere, right, Jeff?
Well, they're on in the background. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
It's hard to sit there, leaning forward into the television set when you're going to get your heart broken. So sometimes you leave them on in the event that something crazy happens, like we're ahead by 2 touchdowns with 30 seconds to go, but still hang on. But generally, and these first 2 games, it's been the same thing. It's just like, and in the second half, we're going to break your heart. It's like, okay.
So, who was your guy growing up? Who was the guy who got you falling in love, I guess, with the Lions, or rooting for just watching football in general? Who would that be, Jeff?
I don't know why, but it was Gail Cogdill. He was a wide receiver for the Lions. I'm going to say late 60s.
Okay.
He was on the team with Alex Karras, Roger Brown, Wayne Walker, Milt Plum.
Okay.
Nick Petrosante, I remember. Night Train Lane, of course.
Right.
Yeah, those guys. When they were playing in Tiger Stadium. Yeah.
So when you're...
Yeah, I went down for one of the Thanksgiving games. I sat in the end zone. I remember, it's one of my earliest memories. We were sitting in the end zone at Tiger Stadium. You remember it like a couple of snapshots.
So you and your family would go to Thanksgiving games, actual Lions games before having Thanksgiving?
We did once.
Okay.
I remember once. I wouldn't say it was a regular thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've never heard of him before, Jeff. I got to be honest with you. I thought I might get somebody a little bit more, famous for his work with the Lions or the National Football League. Who is this person again?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think his number was 89. I think I remember the number. That was just when I was 8 years old and I had a football in the yard. I was Gail Cogdill.
Gail Cogdill. Is that right?
I think so. God, I hope it's at Google it, but I think
no, it is.
That's.
Yeah, he made 3 Pro Bowls in 60, 62, and 63.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not an idiot.
No. We backed your play, Jeff.
34 career touchdowns.
Okay, there you go. That's okay, and that's the guy who got Jeff Daniels loving the Lions, and now to this day you're living and dying with your Detroit Lions. Are you a Detroit sports fan across the board, or is it just the Lions for you?
Yeah, across the board. The Detroit Tigers are probably number one, with the Lions a close second. The Red Wings were, and still are. I love that team. The Pistons, I was never a basketball guy, so less so with them.
Okay, did you ever play football yourself, Jeff? Did you ever get that out?
High school. I was a high school, small town high school, stud. And as soon as you go against kids from either bigger high schools or college, you realize that you need to major in theater.
Okay, now this is a very important question for me personally. Are you Michigan or Michigan State? Which one do you root for? or none?
Semi-root for both. I went to Central Michigan University.
You're a Chippewa. You're a Chippewa. Dick Enberg went to Central Michigan, one of the all-time
Yes,
great
he did.
announcers. Huh.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
That was my kids went to state. On Saturday nights, I'd go to Ann Arbor as a kid.
Okay.
So other than that, there's really no affiliation.
There's no because I'm a Wolverine, class of 1990, Jeff. So, and it's funny, I'm a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker, and so going to Michigan, I'd never been in the Midwest in my entire life, quite honestly. And so when I would use the word sneakers or talk about having a soda, or just the simple thing of crossing the street and cars stopping for me because I'm walking in the street was just really weird for me. The whole experience was just seeing life as a different person than I did growing up on the East Coast, you know?
Yeah, it's a little different out here. Yeah. And when we see people like you from the East Coast who tell us they're from the East Coast,
yes.
We tend to stare at you a little bit longer. You finish your sentence, and we go, yeah, that sounded almost intelligent. Nice of you. We see you coming from a mile away.
I know, but then I would stare back when they're like, no, it's not soda, it's pop, it's not sneakers, it's tennis shoes, it's not sprinkles, it's Jimmy's. And then they would ask me, do I want a uke? And I thought that meant, do I want to actually vomit? I had no idea they were meaning a card game called euchre. Like, that was new for me, too. You know?
Yes, there's so much to learn. Yeah.
I wish I had known you back then. You could have helped me, get more acclimated. I've got Jeff Daniels here on the Rich Eisen Show. Tell me about the Comey rules, sir. What did you learn about Jim Comey? Did you learn anything that you might not have already known or you brought into working on this remarkable two-night event, Jeff?
Well, I think the audience is going to learn what I learned, which is what Jim was thinking. And particularly in October 2016, when the FBI reopened the investigation into Hillary's emails, you're going to understand why he did it. You may not agree with it still, but his decision. But he was between a rock and a hard place, and the movie shows him in that moment, and he has to decide between one or the other. Constantly, he was put in positions like that, where it was just a tough call. And none of it had to do with being political. And that was the other thing I learned. Here's an apolitical guy. He was a Republican, but now he's the FBI director. Doesn't vote because he can't, and he's not left and he's not right. And so when he makes a decision, his North Star is the rule of law, the institution that is the Department of Justice, truth, facts, and maintaining the integrity of the FBI. Those are the things he looks at, and those things are all bigger than he is, and that became his North Star, and that was I didn't know all that, and he doesn't think politically. He can't. He's not allowed to when he makes these decisions, even though everyone who is political is screaming at him for being political. He was an apolitical public servant, and he led the way for people like Fiona Hill, Marie Yovanovitch, William Taylor, Colonel Vindman, and others. Jim was like that first apolitical public servant that was thrown in front of this political nightmare that we're living, this divisive, polarized country that we are. Jim was thrown right in the middle of that, and he's going, I'm making the decision from an apolitical point of view, and people started screaming.
Did you meet with him prior to or during the shooting of this?
I met him during. I offered to meet him before.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus Finch on Broadway, and I was in the end of a year-long run.
Right.
And I emailed him once we got it. I emailed and said, if you're in New York, you know where to find me. And because we were going to start shooting right after Mockingbird. And Jim emailed back. He was very nice, but he had no plans to come up to New York. I'd read the book, the audio book where Jim read it, YouTube. You've got all the film, video you'd want on him. Even on the Colbert Show, you could see Comey's sense of humor. As an actor playing any character, that's a lot of material going in. So I didn't I offered to meet him, and he didn't. We didn't. And so I didn't want to impose. I didn't want to be one of these actors who went down and ate dinner at his house so I could watch him eat dinner. I just didn't want to do that.
Right. Did you see that?
And then I met him. Then we were 2 months into shooting.
Yes.
And he showed up on the set, and that was he watched the first 2 takes of the loyalty dinner between me and Brendan Gleeson, who plays Trump. And after 2 takes, Billy Ray, the writer-director, said, "I want you to meet somebody." And oh God, there he is. And
you
the
didn't know?
first thing you realize that
You didn't know he was there watching?
I knew he was coming that day.
Right.
But the loyalty dinner was, all hands on deck, all focus on that. So it was like, yeah, whatever, I'll meet him whenever. I got to do this. But he did. He came around the corner. He'd been watching, and he kind of looked. He said, "You brought the emotion back. You brought the struggle. You brought everything I was thinking. Like, what the hell am I supposed to say and do at this moment?" He goes, I got to be honest, I feel a little nauseous. And usually when you tell an actor that their performance makes them nauseous, it's not a good thing.
Right.
But I took it as a compliment.
Yes, because you brought back all those moments right there. What do you think Trump's going to think of this if he's out there watching on Sunday and Monday?
Oh, he's going to hate it. He's going to hate it if he even pays attention to it. My hope is that he'll be too busy not preparing for the first debate to have time to watch for it.
Okay, that's your hope on all that. Jeff Daniels here on the Rich Eisen Show. And again, the Comey rule is going to be available starting Sunday night and then Monday, 2 nights, 9 Eastern on Showtime. One of the things I want to just hit with you out of your whole career is terms of endearment, Jeff, because that's one of the first for you. Being on the set, Jack and Shirley MacLaine, for crying out loud. What was that like for you back in 1983 to be involved and play a character, spoiler alert, who's a bit of a heel? What was that like for you, Jeff?
It was, what's the phrase? Keep your eyes open and your mouth shut, your ears open, your mind, whatever. It was shut up. And I would go to the set on days that Jack would work when I wasn't supposed to work, just to watch him.
Really?
And I learned a lot. You think Jack Nicholson comes in and is perfect right away. He's not. He's trying to figure it out. And as a young actor, I got to see this pro work the first take and the second take and the third take, and then he kind of becomes, and he says, "I got it," and then they roll and it's take 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the ones you use. It just was an education in film acting. I remember Jim Brooks, the director, said to Jack after a couple of takes, he goes, "Jack, we got that. I want to try something a little crazy. I want to go out on a limb with something." And Jack said, "I love going out on a limb. I get in trouble out there." And as a young actor, you're going, "That's it. That's the thing. Risk failure. Risk it." And it was a great lesson. I learned a lot working with Jack in particular, and everybody. I mean, it was you're a 28-year-old actor with Shirley, Deborah, and Jack Nicholson. I mean, what's wrong with this picture?
Right. And there was nothing wrong with that picture. I mean, the picture was it's perfect. It stands the test of time. And we've had so many actors from A Few Good Men in here. Kevin Bacon and Noah Wiley and Kevin Pollak. We've had Rob Reiner, and I asked them about that famous scene involving Jack Nicholson all the time. And they said that Nicholson would do his lines for everyone else when it was their turn to be on camera for that scene. And he did it the same exact way every damn time. And then he did it the same way for his.
That's what pros do. That's Jack. The fact that a Jack would do. There are many who don't. There are many who, once the camera's not on them, the script supervisor reads the lines because he's either gone home,
right,
or that actor is. And that happens. That's what you learn in star school. But Jack, no. I mean, when you see a Jack do that or a Meryl Streep do that, and it's full out off camera, that's what it's all about. And I learned that early too. And it's a great lesson. It's not just about you. It's about that other person in the scene with you. Make them great too. Give it to them.
Jeff Daniels here on the Rich Eisen Show. Again, the Comey rule. I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's amazing. You're amazing in it. And I appreciate the call. And let me know if you want to run through some lines of a loyalty test for the Lions, if that's what you want to have, like a loyalty dinner for your Detroit Lions, if you need to ever do that, Jeff.
It may come to that, yes.
Well, we've got something, I don't know if you're not watching, but we are placing on the screen here to make sure everyone understands that you know what you're talking about. That's a Gail Cogdill football trading card that we're putting up on the screen right there. Number 89 in your program, number 1 in your heart, Jeff, right up there on our screen.
That's right.
There you go.
My heart's aflutter.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. Really appreciate it, and congrats in advance on the Comey rule.
Thanks, Rich.
Right back at you. That's Jeff Daniels, at Jeff_Daniels, right here on the program. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here